Good day, everyone. Today, of course, is Friday, the 24th of July, 2020. My name is Jewel, and this is a tropical update. We're looking at the satellite picture now, and of course, we're going to start off with Tropical Storm Hannah, right in here. Looking a little bit more impressive, huh? It looks like the satellite imagery is showing a well-defined convective banding feature, and it's over the eastern and southern portions of the circulation with some cooling of the cloud tops. Now, what this suggests is that associated thunderstorm activity is beginning to be more vigorous. It's picking up, folks. However, surface observations of the Gulf and the Scattermeter Pass from just a few hours ago indicate that the system has not strengthened further as of yet as this time. Now, it's looking like a NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft is scheduled to investigate the storm later this morning, and they should provide a good estimate of Hannah's intensity. Now, this storm has an impressive upper-level anticyclonic outflow, as you can see right in here. It's moving around, it's doing its thing, and therefore, that means strengthening is likely prior to landfall. That's right. It looks like strengthening's going to happen. And folks, probably within 36 hours, this will be up to 65 mile per hour winds in it, okay? Right before it hits land. Now, that's only 9 miles per hour from being a Category 1 hurricane. Please pay attention to it and stay safe. Now, as we look at Gonzalo, right in here, you can see right here, look at all of this dry air. It's kind of chasing it big time right behind it. What the satellite imagery is looking at for this, it's the cloud pattern. It's changed very little during the past several hours, and this cyclone continues to produce an area of deep convection. It looks small, but it's packing a punch. It's got deep convection, folks. Now, although the cyclone continues to produce this area of deep convection, it's quite shapeless, as you can see, with very cold cloud tops. I mean, it's not really circular at the moment with a closing in it or an eye forming or any of that. A compromise of the subjective T numbers from the TAFB and the SAB, along with the earlier SATCON estimate of 55 knot, yields an initial intensity of 50 knots for this particular time. Now, we do have an Air Force Reserve reconnaissance aircraft scheduled to investigate this storm later this afternoon, and it's going to provide a more precise intensity estimate. Now, the statistical dynamical intensity guidance, as well as the deterministic models, all show Gonzalo strengthening as it approaches the southern Windward Islands. Now, the HWRF, the DK ships, and the LGEM are the only guidance indicating hurricane around 36-hour period. So in 36 hours, those are the only ones that are looking like it's going to be a hurricane. After Gonzalo is forecast to move into a more inhibiting thermodynamic environment over the weekend. And it's looking like, according to all of the intensity forecasts now, they're calling for a weakening on Sunday as Gonzalo enters the eastern Caribbean Sea and dissipates in 96 hours or sooner, as a couple of the large-scale models are suggesting. But this is just what it's looking like. It's going to get into a little more of this drier air. But see, it's trying to escape it. The most of the dry air is behind it. These are just little waves. It could intensify. We're going to check out everything from the National Hurricane Center. But first, let's look at the satellite for Hurricane Douglas approaching Hawaii. This is the visible satellite. Let's put it on infrared for Douglas right here. Look at that storm. Wow. Douglas continues to look very impressive in this satellite image, with a clear eye and a symmetric convection in all of the quadrants. Now, it's looking like the latest Dorvik CI values from the TAFB and the SBA, as well as the recent UWCIMS and ADT estimates, are all T6.0. What does that mean? It supports keeping the initial advisory intensity at 115 knots. Now, it's looking like Douglas is crossing 26 Celsius isotherm areas, and it's going to continue to move over relatively cooler waters over the next day or so. Now, this should cause Douglas to begin to weaken very soon, in about 2 days. Now, it's looking like Douglas will move back across 26 Celsius isotherm areas, but at the same time, the cyclone is forecast to begin encountering a drier, more stable air mass and increasing the vertical wind shear. Despite the warmer waters, these other more hostile environment factors are expected to cause Douglas to gradually weaken for the remainder of the time. It's looking like when it gets near Hawaii, and I'm going to show you all this on the National Hurricane Charts, but when it gets to Hawaii, you guys can expect Category 1 hurricane winds of 75 miles per hour. As it moves across you, winds of 70 miles per hour, and these will be sustained winds. Looking at the National Hurricane Center's latest update here, we have Tropical Storm Hannah. The winds are 40 miles per hour, the central pressure 1001 millibar. If you're tracking 27.1 north, 92.8 west, moving west-northwest at 9 miles per hour. Once again, when it comes to Tropical Storm Hannah, you can have 65 mile per hour winds as it goes inland. Please be aware of this and prepare. Here, we have Tropical Storm Gonzalo. 60 mile per hour winds, just like it was last evening. The pressure, 1,000 millibars. It's at 10.0 north, 52.8 west. It's moving west at 15 miles per hour. And now, we still have this system right here. Folks, do not be surprised if this one turns into a hurricane. And it probably will not do it until after it goes over the islands, portions of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, bounce back down into the Caribbean, and then maybe come up to the Gulf. A little bit too far to tell, but it's looking like from all the research I've done, it could very well be a hurricane. But as of now, it's just a tropical wave. It's about 300 miles southeast of the Cabo Verde Islands. It's producing an area of cloudiness, disorganized thunderstorms, and it is expected to move westward across the tropical Atlantic during the next several days. And some gradual development of this system is possible by early next week when it reaches the western tropical Atlantic. 2 days 0, 5 days 30%. Here we have the tracking map of Tropical Storm Hannah. This is just the tracking map. It can bounce around, as we all know, anywhere inside this cone. And you saw the size of it, bringing rain all up into these areas here. But what does it look like it's going to do? Well, it looks like it's going to strengthen, folks. It is expected to strengthen, and the tropical storm force winds should be in portions of the Texas coast where we have these tropical storm warnings. Anywhere in the blue, you guys could get some pretty stiff, sustained winds, so don't let it fool you. We have a tropical storm watch, just a little bit of the coast of Texas up here where it is yellow. And Hannah's going to have heavy rain across these portions of southern Texas, right in here. You guys are going to get a whole lot of rain that could result in flash flooding and isolated minor to moderate river flooding if you live along any of the rivers in these areas. So please be aware of this and never rule out the chance of a tornado. When it comes to Tropical Storm Hannah, tropical storm warnings are in effect for mouth of the Rio Grande to the St. Louis Pass of Texas. Tropical storm watch in effect for St. Louis Pass to High Island, Texas. Now, as we move down just a little bit here in the key messages. It's going to have a lot of rain, folks, and these conditions are expected in the warning area by tonight or Saturday morning. And the tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area by tonight or Saturday morning. The rain, though, 4 to 8 inches of rain with isolated maximum totals of 12 inches through Sunday night in South Texas. This rain may result in life-threatening flash flooding, rapid rises of small streams, and isolated minor to moderate river flooding in South Texas. Elsewhere, 3 to 5 inches of rain is expected along the upper Texas and Louisiana coast and inland to all of the states of Mexico you see here. The swells are going to be great. The rip currents are going to be great. Do not rule out the chance of a tornado. Now we're looking at Tropical Storm Gonzalo. Wherever you see this pink, this is hurricane watches. The blue, tropical storm warnings. You also see a little yellow down in these areas. These are watches also. So everybody in these colored areas, be aware. As you can see, all of the models according to the National Hurricane Center that they've put together still have it becoming a hurricane lasting through the island area and not turning back into a tropical storm till around Sunday morning. Now, what it's looking like, regardless the risk of the wind and rain and portions of the southern Windward Islands this weekend will be there. It's going to continue and increase. However, there is a significant uncertainty in how strong Gonzalo will be when it moves across the islands. There's that uncertainty, folks. This is from the National Hurricane Center. That's why you see the hurricane watches, the tropical storm warnings. You see a mixture of it here. You're going to get it no matter what, so you need to prepare. It's either going to be a high-end tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane. Now, despite all this uncertainty, future intensity hurricane or tropical storm conditions, they are going to be possible across portions of the southern Windward Islands Saturday and Saturday night. Saturday and Saturday night, tomorrow and tomorrow night. And the hurricane and tropical storm warnings and watches, as you see, are currently in effect. And all interest in the southern Windward Islands should monitor the progress. Please keep up with it. Looking like that by tomorrow, the wind is going to start to pick up to 70 miles per hour. And by the time it gets to you and across to you, the wind should be 75 miles per hour, which is a Category 1 hurricane. Watches and warnings. Watches and warnings. Tropical storm warning in effect for St. Lucia. Tropical storm warning in effect for Barbados, St. Vincent, the Grenadines. Hurricane watch in effect for Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Please pay attention, my friends. This is all going to happen starting tomorrow for you guys on the islands. Now, a quick look. The key messages, the rainfall, my friend. Look at this. Total rain accumulations 2 to 5 inches. Isolated maximum amounts of 7 inches in Barbados and the Windward Islands tonight through Sunday night. It's expected to produce total rain accumulations of 1 to 2 inches in Trinidad and Tobago. And rainfall in Barbados and the Windward Islands could lead to life-threatening flash flooding. Of course, you guys know you're going to have horrific rip currents, and you guys do not also rule out the possibility of tornadoes. And last but not least at all, we have Hurricane Douglas, which is currently still a major hurricane. As I explained earlier, though, it should be hitting a little cooler waters, and it should come down in strength to Category 2. And it's looking like by the time it gets right around in here, I'm still thinking the Big Island you need to watch out. Now, this could bounce anywhere from this line to this line, looking like it might skirt it now, but some places are showing it does go over here. Need to pay attention. By the time it gets here on Sunday, looking like you're going to have, I'd say, anywhere from 75 to 70 mile per hour sustained winds. Might even be a little bit higher. You need to prepare. And then over the other islands, as it does get out here, right in this area here, it's going to get in cooler water again, and it should come down to tropical storm strength by Sunday evening. And that's a check of all the tropical weather for this morning. I'll try to have another update this afternoon for you. Everybody along the Texas coast here, especially in southern Texas, get right. Hannah's coming. Looking like it's going to intensify, only 9 miles per hour from being a Category 1 hurricane. Gonzalo, all my friends down in the southern Windward Island area, prepare. Not quite sure if it's going to be a hurricane. Looks like it might. It could be a high-end tropical storm. It really doesn't matter. You need to prepare and stay safe. And so far as this system right here, we're going to have to watch it. But it looks like it could intensify, and possibly by the time it gets over in here, intensify up to a hurricane. Too far out to tell for sure yet, though. Stay safe, my friends. Have a good day, a blessed day. Peace, love, and kindness to each and every one of you. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Please subscribe, click that bell, and check off all if you haven't. I'm trying to get my subscriber count up. I'd appreciate it a lot if you would do that. And please share this video information with your family and friends and on social media. Don't play with Hannah. Hannah's got a lot of rain in it wherever it lands up here. It looks like around Corpus Christi, maybe, that area. Maybe Galveston, somewhere in this area here. Still a little too early to tell exactly where the landfall will be on that, but in that general area. And everybody in the Windward Islands, please take care, stay safe, and to all my friends in Hawaii, please do the same. Thank you so much for watching.